Do you ever have Power BI reports more easily manage those measures and columns and ID columns and everything like that? Well, that is what we are going to look at today. So in this video, all about Power BI stuff, we are going to be diving directly into organizational aspects. My name is Nick Lee, and this is something that comes up all the time. And one of our offerings is called virtual mentoring, is where I have users that have issues and they get stuck and they need help with something. So they will book time on my calendar through our website, and we will jump on a call and unblock whatever they have going on. This normally isn't really a topic that they call about or they ask about or need help with, but this is something that I end up implementing all the time in a vast majority of my calls, and be like, hey, by the way, did you know you could organize this so it's easier to use, especially when you hand this off to someone else? And every time that just get blown away. And it's not a very complex or complicated feature. It's just one of those things. You just have to know it's there and know how to utilize it. So that's what we're going to be going through on this video. Let's take a look and check it out right now. Here is an example Power BI report that I have currently in Power BI Desktop. It is very straightforward, very simple, just something that I use as an example from time to time. But basically, I have the set of tables over on the right side: customer, date, geography, internet sales, product, sales territory, and temperature. Well, if I open up my internet sales table, you can see in here that I have all kinds of columns, all kinds of measures stored throughout. These measures are all aggregations, calculated measures that I made. And there are a couple different ways I want to walk you through on how we can organize this. Now, this is more of a simple data model, as I stated, but these type of practices can be used on any size of data model, and you may go down different routes depending on what works easier for you, your organization, your users, etc. The first thing I want to show you guys on what it is I'm talking about is using what I call a measures repository. For a while, there was no kind of official support for these measure repositories in Power BI Desktop. We just kind of had to make it work. But now it actually has some help. We have a little bit of help to make it a little bit more clear exactly what's going on. So what I want to do is basically have a structure on the right side in my data pane. And in this data pane, I want a spot to store all my measures in. Again, this is just the first method I want to show you guys. I have a second method coming up in a little while. That being said, in the first method, what I want to do is create a table or repository I can store these measures in. So the first thing to note is, one, I can select existing measures. So I'm just going to click on the first one I see, last year, year-to-date profit. And up there on the top left side of the screen, you can see that there is a home table. Well, this home table, you can actually click the drop down for, and you can choose one of other tables that exists, because measures actually don't necessarily belong to a table. They are dynamic. They can reference any number of tables. They don't even have to reference a table whatsoever to work. Measures don't necessarily belong to a table. You could store them in any table you want. But in a lot of scenarios, maybe your measures are referencing many and you don't know exactly where to store them. So this is a perfect time for us to build us out a measures repository. Now, technically speaking, you could use any type of table structure you want as a measures repository, but this is my method on how I like to make a measure repository for my Power BI data models and reports. I normally just go to this enter data button at the top. Normally I name it something like _measures for a couple reasons. One, the data pane on the far right side is an alphabetized list. And when you make a table, it's going to show everything in alphabetical order. Now, that is not necessarily the case anymore, since back in the day when I used to make these all the time, Microsoft has actually added a little bit of support for these measures repositories. And once you actually quantify something as a measure repository itself, then it actually just goes to the top of the list anyways. So hypothetically speaking, I don't need the underscore for that to happen, but just for example purposes, even if I were to try to just call this just measures, it's technically not allowed because that is a reserved words. But I mean, just for example purposes, again, I am going to call this something like measure list. It's not a great name. It is just something that I'm calling it just for the sake of this example. And I'm going to hit load. Now, once it's loaded, you see measure list is over here and it populates in the data pane with one column in it. That column I do not care about whatsoever. We're actually going to be deleting it here in a moment. Anyways, what I could do now is I could go over to my internet sales table and I can click on a measure, and any of these measures I can hit the drop down for. Say I want to move it to my measure list. All right. So I just moved my last year-to-date profit measure over here. And just for example purposes, I'm going to add a couple more. I'm just going to kind of go down the list a little bit here. So I'm going to add prior year profit and profit as well. Now my measure list technically has column 1, which is that garbage column, and then 3 other measures in it. All right. But now that it has something in it other than just the columns, I'm actually going to now, once I've done that, I can delete this first column. So I'm going to delete column 1, hit delete from model. Yes, I want to delete it. And now you'll notice measure list moved to the top, regardless of the alphabetical order. It is all the way at the top. Not only that, it actually changed the icon as well. If you look at it, you'll notice it no longer looks like a table. It looks like a little calculator icon stacked on top of another calculator icon. This is indicative of this is now a measures repository that Power BI recognizes because it contains nothing except measures in it. Regardless of the naming convention, it's always going to be at the top. Now, if you have multiple measures repositories, which you could do, I could see a business use case for that, then they would be alphabetized as far as those go. In this case, where we just have one measures repository, it is now there. So as a hypothetical to wrap up this first example is I can move all of my measures into this measures repository. That way, whenever someone's looking to do any type of calculation or any type of, measuring or aggregation, whatever it is, all they need to know is they need to come to this measures repository and grab what they need from there, rather than trying to navigate this kind of circus that is all the tables, all the columns, all the measures, all the hierarchies, all in one spot. And it's a lot harder to use this way. Now, when you have users that are going to be utilizing this report, you just say, hey, you want to make visual? Go to the measures, start dragging stuff in, and then you get your metrics. And it makes it a lot easier in that regard. That's the first method I wanted to show you guys. And the second method I wanted to show you guys for organizational purposes can be either used in tandem with the measures repository or separately from the measures repository, which is inside the tables itself. There is a way that you can actually craft and create folders and subfolders within all of your tables and measures repositories. This isn't just for measures though. You could use this for whatever you want. And let me show you how to do that. So there's effectively 2 ways to accomplish this, okay? You could do it in the model view, or you could use a third-party tool like Tabular Editor. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into doing it in Tabular Editor, even though technically speaking, I would say it's probably easier. But if you have access to Power BI, you can do it in Power BI. You don't need to get IT approval or whatever to get Tabular Editor free version installed. But regardless, that is a way you could do it, but we're just going to do it right here in Power BI. There is not a very intuitive way, though, to make these folders. To make these folders, if you try to just do a right click on a measure and choose add to folder or whatever, it's just not there. It doesn't exist. It's not a possible option. To make folders and subfolders, you actually have to do this in the model view. So we're going to browse over to the model view now and go in here, and here's my measure list, as you could see, with the rest of my data model or whatever it is. We could do it from here, but the easier way is often just click on a field that you want to organize in your data pane. So on the right side, I'll just start with the items that are here in the measure list, and then I can start looking at some of these items. So if I just look at my profit measure as an example here, see this item that says display folder and it says enter the display folder? Here is where we start making folders. Now, this part is a little bit annoying because there is no selection option. You have to write it out. As an example, I could say profit. I want my profit measure to go into this profit folder. I hit enter, and now you could see there is this profit folder that has now been populated in my measures repository. And it is usable just as you'd imagine right here in the report view. I can add it to a visual and it works, just like you'd expect it would. I can also add these other measure items to this same folder. But again, not very intuitive. I can't drag and drop it in there. There is no right click, add to folder. It just does not exist. That level of support is not ready yet in Power BI. Hopefully it will in the future. For now, if I want to store those items in that folder, I just go back to the model view and I could choose prior year profit and manually type in profit again. Of course, you could have copied and pasted this to begin with. and hit enter, and notice it now goes into that profit folder. What if I wanted to do a nested folder? Maybe I wanted to do something like I want all my profit measures in the profit folder, but I want all my year-to-date calculations nested as a profit year-to-date calculation. Something along those lines. Just an example I'm coming up with on the fly here. So now what I could do is I could put in profit as my display folder. And then if you put a backslash, of course, I can now add in a nested folder. So if I put in YTD, you can see that now under profit, this folder exists year to date. If I collapse profit, you don't see year to date because there is a nested folder. If I open it up, you can see this year to date folder now exists and it works perfectly. And as an example, you can make as many nested folders as you want. Just as an example, I'm just going to make a bunch of them. And you can see that this nested structure does get a little crazy here. And we do get a bunch of different nested folders available if we wanted them. It doesn't really make sense to do in this scenario, but I'm just going to back it up to just that one level of nested folder. And that looks good. And I'm happy with that. This is just we're doing it in the measures repository. You could do this anywhere. I've actually seen use cases that have been in the past where companies, rather than using measure repository, they had more success just nesting their measures in folders inside of a table itself. So if I go to internet sales, I can pick a measure from here, like profit margin is still in here. I can maybe make a folder in my internet sales that's called metrics. And now it is under internet sales under this item called metrics. Looks great. Maybe you want to start at the beginning. Maybe I'll call it 1_metrics, just so it's all the way at the beginning of this or something, right? I could do that. So I could grab my other measures that might be in here, like total cost, and also add it as well, right? I could do that. But it's not just for measures. This is where the beauty of it comes from. This also works perfectly for columns as well. So here's where the companies that have maybe multiple fact tables and have quite a few degenerate dimensions that they want to utilize all in one little table here, we could actually set up folders to account for that as well. So as an example, I could click on a column like carrier tracking number, and maybe I'll put this in my dimensions folder, or maybe I'll just even call it categories to make it make more sense for anyone that might be building a report that's not necessarily knows what a dimension and a fact is. So I have this categories I could store in there. So now I could teach my users anytime they want to make a visual, categorical visual, you could just use something from there. So I could also maybe add in a key column as well, right? So if I add in, put this in categories, drop that into categories, and now it's there. But oftentimes what I do with key columns when I do this type of structure is I will actually add my key columns in their own subfolder or own folder even. It just kind of depends on how I'm designing it at the time based on business needs. Basically, sometimes I will maybe call it, ID columns. That way, everything gets stored. I'm going to quickly do this off screen real quick and store everything from this report into a subfolder so you guys can see what the end result might look like. All right, guys. So I have it all done now. So as you can see here, as building that, it did take a moment to get it all set up right and, make sure it's cohesive and easy to use and easy to utilize and whatnot. But once the work is done, it's done. All right. So it may take a little time to get it all organized, set up straight, exactly how you want it to make it easier to use. But as a quick revision here, we could see that we look at 1_metrics is what I ended up calling it. So all my metrics are here. Maybe I would make a subfolder that is explicit measures and implicit measures. I could do that potentially, but this is fine for now. These are all the different things that you could add to a visual to give us good value. And then I have my categories. I have my ID column stored in a subfolder because typically speaking, you normally don't report on ID columns. There is a chance that you would if you wanted to get something very specific, like you want to get super granular. Sure, there's a potential you would report on ID columns, but normally you wouldn't, right? So that's why I just stored this in its own folder, just in case you did want to access them later for visuals. And then, of course, we have these other degenerate dimensions that exist in the internet sales table that could be utilized for other types of metrics or reporting needs. But now, those are kind of the two different ways I wanted to show you guys that you could organize your data, get everything looking great and perfect with the either measures repository or the display folders and subfolders, or a combination of the two. Of course, it's absolutely possible as well. And you should do whatever makes the most sense to you and whatever is going to make the most sense to business users if you're ever handing this off for other people to utilize. or maybe you're making a semantic model. If you're making a semantic model for other users to build reports off of your data model, well, these folders and subfolders and repository, they all stick to that semantic model. They're all there. They're part of the data model itself, part of the structure. So if someone goes to connect to your semantic model, all of this stuff we just did is going to be there, and it's going to work great and much easier for them to utilize. So that wraps it up today, guys. I thank you so much for joining me on this video. I did want to ask you, though, because this could potentially lead to further videos down the line if you're interested in, what are some other types of organization that you guys either utilize or wish there was that existed in Power BI? And this might inspire me to make another video on the kind of a similar topic here to kind of show you guys some cool tricks of the trade to make your life easier. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will take a look at it and maybe we can make something out of it. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you so much. I'll see you next time.